Hello, and welcome back to THFC Rants. I just thought that I would hop on for a few minutes because we have some breaking news, and that is that it appears that Tottenham are nearing an agreement with Paulo Fonseca, which is the former Roma manager, which, needless to say, personally, I'm finding it a little bit underwhelming that this is happening. I do want to bring in this screen. You can see here, this is the tweet from Fabrizio Romano saying that Tottenham are discussing with Paulo Fonseca on a 3 years contract. Fonseca is 100% open to accept Tottenham job if Spurs will definitely decide to appoint him in the next hours. I've just been looking at some of the reaction on Twitter so far from Spurs fans. I was also tuned in to Henry Wright TV and Jenk, and they were in the middle of a live stream, and they were trying to talk about Euros, and it kind of hit the two of them just like a wall. Me personally, I don't know as much about Paulo Fonseca as most people might, but I mean, maybe I can just bring up his Wikipedia page here if you want to just bear with me for a second. I think that even someone has already gone in there and updated the Wikipedia page, but we can read it together. Yeah, let's see here. I apologize for the small font, but I will read what it says here. Fonseca is a Portuguese former professional footballer who played as a central defender, and like it says here, and is current manager of Tottenham Hotspur. Again, I don't think that has been confirmed. Somebody's just come in here and done that. He amassed primarily. So let's skip ahead to his coaching career. Fonseca started coaching immediately after retiring, remaining 2 years at the helm of Estrela de Amadora's youths. From 2007 to 2011, he was in charge of several modest teams, notably CD Pinhal-Novens, which he led to the quarterfinals of the Taça de Portugal, both in 2009-10 and 2010-11 seasons. In 2011-12, Fonseca was appointed at CD Aves in Division 2 for his first job in the professionals, and he led them to the team to the third position, just 2 points shy of promotion. In the following campaign, he signed for FC Pacos de Ferreira, again finishing third to qualify the club for their maiden campaign in the UEFA Champions League. Highlights included winning both games against SC Braga and Sporting CP. Fonseca succeeded Vitor Pereira at the helm of back-to-back national champions FC Porto, signing a 2-year contract on 10th of June 2013. He started his spell on a high note, winning the year's Super Taça Candido de Oliveira after a 3-0 triumph against Vitória de Guimarães, which marked his first honor as a coach. I apologize for butchering some of these Portuguese names. This is my first time reading them. You'll have to bear with me. By the way, like the stream. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking once we get through this brief summary of his coaching career and take a look at some of the results in the table below. I will go through some of your comments to get your thoughts on what you think about Paulo Fonseca. So let's skip right ahead to his managerial statistics. So it looks like he had been at Shakhtar Donetsk for 4 seasons from May 2016 to June of 2019, amassing a pretty decent record there, a goal difference of plus 183, and he's been at Roma just for the last 2 seasons. And of course, we know that Roma are now being managed by the one and only Jose Mourinho. I really don't know what to make of this, considering that we are in European competition, the Europa Conference League with Roma. This could set up for a very kind of awkward reunion between two clubs who have essentially done a manager swap at this point. This is just weird. And the reaction on Twitter, I'm just going to check as we go to see if there's any kind of updates here. But generally, yeah, we are Tottenham TV saying that the according to Romeo Agresti, the deal to bring in Paulo Fonseca is 99% done. So it appears as if this is the direction the club are going. I'm going to scroll through my Twitter timeline, see if there's anything. Henry Wright TV says, I've waited 51 days for this. Obviously, he is underwhelmed. Yeah, a lot of it is negative stuff going on right here. Oh man. Yeah, so why don't we take a couple of your comments here? I can see you guys are showing up right. Got ATM Nerd in the house. Joe Thurgood is fuming. 92 Flamethrower has a little bit of a positive outlook here, saying that he is massively underrated as a manager. The Mountie is not on board. Random Account is furious. 92 Flamethrower does acknowledge that it is a gamble. One thing I will say, I mean, obviously this is a guy that Fabio Paratici is familiar with, having been in the Serie A for the last 11 seasons. I know that Fonseca was only coaching in the Serie A for the last 2 years, but I'm sure that they have obviously developed a little bit of a relationship, whether through competition or through transfers. Amzo is not surprised. Brian Daigle is going to go absolutely berserk. I wonder maybe what I'll do. I really don't know how long I can be on here, so I'm not going to go ahead and bring anybody else on. I just thought I would jump on since it's such breaking news here. I mean, we've been waiting 51 days for this, and judging from the reaction from people on Twitter and in the comments here, we are not really sold on this. Joe Thurgood says such an underwhelming appointment. The thing is, I don't know if we were going to get Antonio Conte, and I'm not going to say it wouldn't have been a good thing. I mean, my hope was when we were in talks with Conte was that it was going to be a signal that things were going to change at Tottenham Hotspur, that we were going to get some proper investment, because we know Conte would not come in here without those kind of assurances. Same goes for what was going on with Maurizio Pochettino. We knew that Poch would not come back under the same circumstances that he left, and so when we were linked with him, it was a little bit of hope as well. From what I can see, a lot of negative reaction from people all over the place on this. I mean, some people saying that he's just going to be a yes man for Daniel Levy. JJ Tubb doesn't know how he feels about this. Honestly, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel about it either. Fonseca is a manager that I'm not familiar with. Honestly, like, all I know is that he's coming from Roma, and that whatever 5 seconds that I read about him on Wikipedia just now, Scott M says no thanks. AK Gaming says it's meh. I mean, on one hand, at least we do have a manager, but I mean, is this one of those situations where, like a transfer window where we haven't spent money in ages, any kind of investment seems like a big deal? Is this a case where, we've been sitting here so long, rudderless and without a direction and a manager, that people are going to just be happy to just take any direction? So far, what I can see is not positive. A Dylan saying, bruh. Aglea Kakaratis, I hope I got it right. Kako, as we know you. Fonseca, who is he? I'm going to have to learn more about him, that's for sure. Reload, just got sacked by Roma. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that Jose Mourinho has been brought in to replace, right? Joe Grimes, welcome to the channel, buddy. So we're basically swapping managers with Roma. Yes, I mean, there's no doubt that we're going to get bantered over that. There seems to be no end to the amount of banter that we can withstand here as Tottenham Hotspur supporters. I really hope that we would get a pedigree manager in here. I'm not sure what Paulo Fonseca has achieved in terms of honors. Yeah, he has a few smaller trophies. He won the league title with Shakhtar. I mean, if we think that some of the other bigger European leagues are farmers' leagues, which I do not personally, I have great respect for the likes of the French and the Italian, the German, and the Spanish league, but the Ukrainian league, I don't think that we can count that amongst the greatest of honors. Yeah, reload Roma, and Daniel Field says he won't be manager. I mean, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, and I know that Twitter isn't the be all and end all, but that's where I get a lot of my news. It's looking more and more likely. There's more and more tweets coming in here. The Spurs Express confirming from Romeo Agresti that the deal is 99% done. We knew that there were rumors that when Paratici came in, which he hasn't even been announced yet, but we're being linked with players, and apparently we've signed a manager as well. So has that deal actually been signed and he just hasn't been announced yet? Was he left in Italy to take care of Was he tasked with finding a manager from Italy before he came to London to start in person at Tottenham Hotspur? Top 4 in a trophy, says, I fear for us now. Man, I've been fearing for us for months. That's for sure. Everybody, make sure you like the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see where else. Ilya Kim says, horrible. Oh, my God. AK Gaming, it's a trade. Kind of seems like it. I'm sure there will be a lot of people who have strong opinions on whether or not we're getting the better end, since I know that there's a lot of people who are Jose detractors, and I, too, don't think that Jose was working. I don't agree with the timing of his sacking, and I certainly was hopeful that because of his relationship with Harry Kane that he might stick around and we will get some proper backing in the summer. But I don't know what this means for investment in the squad. Maybe this is something that I could do a deep dive in for a show. Maybe with this, if this gets confirmed here in the next hours, maybe Will Stewart will want to jump on a stream tonight, late night, to do a discussion about this, because it looks like there are plenty of strong feelings. Daniel Field, THFC just branching. Reload thinks he's awful. Mama Coates, Football Italia, posted an article 15 minutes ago. I will have to check that out. I'm not going to be able to stay on here forever just to warn everybody. Priyanch, Cody, please help me. I'm sorry, man. I live very far away. I cannot give you a hug, but I send my support your way. That's for sure. We all need it right now. This bum won't last. See, the thing is, I said this on Twitter. God help anybody that comes in after we were linked to Pochettino and Conte, because once we got linked, and the thing is, it's so hard not to see this whole circus as just having been a massive roller coaster ride meant to generate interest in season ticket renewals, because, like, before season ticket renewal deadline passed, we were being linked with Flick and Nagelsmann and Ten Hag and Conte and Poch and Ralph Ragnick and all these pedigree names, and then nothing happened, right? And suddenly, like you saw in the last few days, they came out and said directly that they were going to work quietly from here on out. Oh, well, isn't that convenient for Tottenham Hotspur that before season ticket renewals, we were being linked with some of the greatest managers available in world football, and now we're appointing basically the guy who got rejected so that they could hire Jose Mourinho. It's very, very difficult for me to look at this as anything but a step down. And again, I do acknowledge that it wasn't working under Jose, but really, you're going to get the guy that was sacked so that they could bring Jose in? It kind of screams pathetic, if we're being honest. Oh, man, JJ Tubb, nobody even knows who he is, man. Abdul Karim, this does not fill me with any hope. Oh, it's the hope that kills you. And I think as far as hope is concerned, my hope is starting to run out if it isn't dead already. Reload, this is a disappointment that no one even saw coming, making it even worse. Man, George, don't believe it. It is 99% spill. So you're not thinking that this is a done deal? It's catching fire all over the place right now. Priyanch, hang in there, buddy. It'll get better, I promise. Daniel Field, no smoke without fire. I agree. Just speculation, maybe. We'll see. Levy told Paratici, get me a manager on a free transfer, so he called his mate from the Italian league. It's not hard to picture, that's for sure. Sean Moran, cheap way out as usual. Cody, yeah, not exactly the way of the Antonio Conte. In fact, it looks like it's the opposite end of the scale. I mean, we'll have to do some research on this guy and figure out exactly what we're getting, because it's hard to say. Like Roma, we saw they finished 7th. They were basically mirrored us in terms of league position. They're going to be in the Europa Conference League next year. What kind of quality is this manager if he was guiding Roma to a 7th place finish? I mean, I guess Jose Mourinho, you could ask the same question of him, but oh man, this is so brutal. George, they were bound to link us with Serie A manager because of Paratici. I'm looking like this. I don't think this is just a link. This is looking like it's happening, and it's happening very fast. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, if you haven't yet, smash a like, smash a subscribe. Just doing a little bit of breaking news here. Paulo Fonseca from AS Roma is being linked heavily at the moment across all social media platforms and news outlets as being the man who is going to succeed Jose Mourinho as Tottenham Hotspur's next manager. I'm not going to count Ryan Mason. Pilch 58. Is this some sort of money laundering deal? Maybe, Italian mafia, you know what I mean? Mafioso. Scott M. I think this and the player links Donnarumma Romagnoli theorem shows what Paratici is certainly directing the team now. Paratici hasn't been announced yet. I really am hopeful that it's not just a smokescreen and that Paratici isn't coming. You would certainly think that the amount of activity that there has been over the last 24 hours in terms of player links and now this manager link, it would indicate that there is a new direction being established at Tottenham Hotspur, and the Paratici regime may be fully underway at this point. JJ Tubb, would y'all accept Mason over Fonseca? I'm going to say no to that. I don't think so. The chemist might as well go with Ryan Mason. I'm not sure if that's that bad. I really do want to believe in the next manager. I want to get behind him. I want to be a good supporter. But if this is the way that things are going to go, it was always going to be difficult for anybody not named Conte or Pochettino or Ten Hag to come in here and take over. It was always going to seem underwhelming. So it might be unfair of us to be jumping all over this guy before he even comes in here. He's got a task. He's got just as big a task on his hands as Fabio Paratici in turning this club around. Let's be honest. This club is a goddamn mess right now. So the fact that we're going after a manager of this ilk and reputation doesn't really surprise me at this point. I don't think that we were in a position to attract a manager of any kind of pedigree at this point. And there's so much work that needs to be done on the squad. It's difficult to see how we could have brought in realistically someone like Antonio Conte. Maybe Poch would have come. Who knows? There's been lots of rumors that PSG are interested in bringing in Zinedine Zidane. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly now, if the Tottenham job is being fulfilled, you have to think that the likelihood is that Pochettino is going to remain at Paris Saint-Germain, which leaves Zinedine Zidane, his future, in a little bit of a quandary as well. Maybe he'll just be happy to take a year off. Obviously, Real Madrid is a little bit of a pressure cooker to be working in. Eugene, Spurswasian TV, says, seriously, Fonseca? Yeah, it looks like it. This is the quote from Fabrizio Romano. Tottenham are discussing with Paulo Fonseca on a 3 years contract. Fonseca is 100% open to accept Tottenham job if Spurs will definitely decide to appoint him in the next hours. Yeah, so here's a guy who's not going to hold Daniel Levy's feet to the fire and say, look, I want some reservations. He just doesn't have that kind of pedigree. Yeah, Joe Grimes, like I said, I mean, Jose took us to the Conference League as well. I really want to have some hope here, but it's hard. It's hard. This immediate reaction that we're getting from everyone is generally negative, and it's kind of hard to digest at this point. JJ Tubb, if I'm being honest, it's better than having Mason in charge, so I guess that's a plus. Yeah, I mean, there are different ways that you can look at this as a positive. On one hand, at least we are getting a manager. We can finally put an end to the 51-day saga. Area 51, it's just been a bizarre circus of a managerial hunt. I've never really seen anything like it. I know that there's been precedents set 15, 20 years ago in terms of Tottenham Hotspur and having a caretaker manager for 9 months or something like that. But this is just, in today's day and age, in the state that Tottenham Hotspur, the prestige that we're supposed to be a big club. Big clubs, you've seen the way big clubs have acted here in the last month or so. None of these big clubs that either sacked their manager or had managers that leave sat around on their ass waiting to see what was going to happen. I wonder if this managerial search has been a product of Daniel Levy being a little bit paralyzed in terms of, if he was truly shocked at the way that the supporters reacted to the Super League, then it's quite possible that he's been sitting in his office scared shitless to make a decision because fearing for his own, job. I know that he answers to himself or whatnot, but the reality is, if Tottenham supporters make up their mind and they want to run riot all over him, he's going to be forced out. So, if the plan was to get Paratici before you got the manager, and that was the reason that we waited because we wanted somebody with a football mind to make a football decision, then I back that 100%. But it's hard to say what this means. I'm sorry I've fallen behind on the comments here. I am going to try and get all of them. Yupped up, big up yourself. Paratici now has full control of footballing side with this appointment. All transfers and dealings will run through him. If you didn't miss it, I did do a deep dive on Fabio Paratici this morning on Morning THFC. It's a 1-hour stream. Make sure you go back and take a look at it. It was interesting. I know that everybody has been saying that Paratici is the man to lead us into this next phase of Tottenham Hotspur, but there are as much as there are many people who are in agreement on Paratici's quality, there are some people who think that he's better suited in a scouting role as opposed to a management role. So go back and watch that. Orange Fantasy, I subscribe to you, and Fonseca news breaks out. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe you should unsubscribe and subscribe again. Maybe we'll get Romelu Lukaku in here. AK Gaming, he won a lot of trophies, but in the lower divisions. Correct. And you know what? You have to win at certain levels before you have success at the higher levels. Maybe this is a natural progression for Fonseca. Certainly his results in 2 years at Roma are not encouraging. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Eugene, hi everyone. Daniel Field, I don't know much about the man, so abstain from peeling any onions. Yeah, you know, let's try and give this guy a chance. We're gonna have to. We got no choice. But I don't want this guy to be run out of town before he gets a chance to ply his trade here. There's certainly, like, from a perspective of like a Harry Kane, I don't know what this means for whether or not we keep Kane. I don't think Harry Kane is going to be sitting around in the England dressing room right now saying, "Man, I'm so happy that we got Paulo Fonseca. I'm really looking forward to remaining at Tottenham because we're going to win trophies." It's just so frustrating to think about the possible ramifications of this managerial appointment. Pilch 55 years, and that's me out. Yeah. Tottenham till I die, man. Tottenham till they kill me. Mark Cross, this doesn't fill me with excitement at all. Don't say this was the plan. Again, like I said, I'm sure this comment was made before I rambled on about Paratici, but it looks like he's been given full license to make footballing decisions, and he's trying to kick this engine into gear, which I can get behind. Whether or not this is, the most glorious, glamorous, reputation-wise appointment, doesn't appear to be. Lookman, we are taking Roma's throwaway. Roma gets Jose, LOL. Yeah. Ilya Kim, worst choice. Oh, my God. Daniel Field, rings a bell, though. Big name back in the day. Maybe. The Mountie says Kane will definitely want to leave now. That is an angle that is beginning to set on me, that's for sure. Persuasion TV, why didn't we just keep Jose? It did get pretty toxic. I don't agree with how he was sacked. I don't know if he was the right man for the job, but we'll have to wait and see. This kind of screams like we're going to sell Harry Kane at this point, and that Paratici has been brought in to manage the funds appropriately, as opposed to what happened during the Gareth Bale years when we sold him to Real Madrid. Amzo says, typical Levy, cheap bald head clown. Couldn't agree more. Pilch, only 99%. So you're saying, you know what? Conte was supposed to be a done deal, according to Ali Gold, barring a disaster, and the disaster struck. Now, Fonseca wants the job, according to Fabrizio Romano and multiple other sources. Fonseca signed for Fenerbahce, maybe. Who the hell is he? We're going to have to learn, that's for sure. Yeah, another Portuguese manager, Brian Daigle. Somebody check on Brian Daigle. Just got on. Hi, Keith, Mr. Positive. We got a manager. We got a manager, man. Hey, Dylan, clear sign of a 2-year rebuild. Yeah, if we're going to sell Kane, you have to think that's going to trigger some kind of rebuild. What did he achieve? From what I can see, I think he won the Portuguese league, I think, with Porto, and I think he won the Ukrainian league 3 times with Shakhtar Donetsk, which, I'm pretty sure they win that league every year, just about. Levy Masterclass goes for the cheapest option. Really, I mean, Ryan Mason would have been the absolute cheapest option, so let's not I will say it's better than Ryan Mason. Fonseca in, Kane out. Yeah, writing's on the wall at this point. Jose better than Fonseca. Yeah, Keith may be right. Listen, his work as Shakhtar was impressive. It's hard to compare when you have a small league like Shakhtar Donetsk. Daniel Field, it's just eggs and basket spiel. Clarence Simpson, don't recognize the name. Make sure you click a like. Make sure you click a subscribe. If Roma got rid of him and took Jose, who knows? Maybe Jose sinks the boat at Roma and Fonseca comes in here and works with Paratici, and they work their magic, and we win the Premier League 9 straight years, just like Paratici did in the Serie A. Highly unlikely, I know. Ultra optimistic. That would be something Keith would say. Stewart, such. I would rather Potter than this. I'm not a huge Graham Potter fan, but I'm also not a huge Paulo Fonseca fan. So, if you're going to toss a coin, I just don't know enough about Fonseca and the style of football that he's going to bring. This is self-harm from Levy, maybe. well, more reason for Kane and Son to leave. This could signal the end of the era for both of these players. If there's a market for both of these players, it would not surprise me if they sold to fund not only debt relief, but a rebuild. But at least if we do have Paratici in here to take the reins away from Daniel Levy, at least he can make some noise that way. What a big letdown to the fan base yet again. Yes, Joachim Low over him. I don't know. When was the last time Joachim Low was in club football? Sorry, just checking to make sure my kids are still sleeping. It's persuasion. Maybe they're throwing another name out there. Get in, Harry, for fuck's sake. On the cheapest expected. They have Jose Redders. We are finished, for fuck's sake. Possibly, yeah. He signed Chris Smalling. That says it all. Paratici masterclass, maybe. I don't know if that's if there's sarcasm in there, Robin. Fonseca versus Jose in the European Banter League. I mean, this could be just a massive ploy to get the Europa Conference League up and running. You know that if we get drawn into whatever, I don't even know how the tournament works. I don't think it's like any of the other tournaments, but if we do happen to meet them in a knockout stage, you know that it'll draw some eyeballs into the television. So wouldn't be surprising if they cooked the draw so that we met Roma at some point. I think those are the two biggest clubs in the competition, if I'm not mistaken. JJ Tubb. Levy is so slick, works in private just so he can shaft us. Levy out. Yeah, Levy out, man. Common denominator. Disgrace. Crazy. Why are we going backwards? Daniel is in panic mode. Fabrizio just posted. Bear with me as I look up Fabrizio Romano to see if there is an update on this. 3 tweets in the last hour. Zinedine Zidane. Oh, that's his pinned tweet. Fonseca wants to join Tottenham. Direct talks with Fabio Paratici on a 3 years contract. Deal not signed yet, but both sides confident. Paratici is signed with Spurs until June 2024. Same contract discussed with Fonseca. So it does look like the deal with Paratici has been signed, which means this is the man that's behind the managerial decision. Who's appointed him? Would Levy sign him before it? Seems odd. Again, according to Fabrizio Romano's post there, it does look like Paratici has signed his contract. Maybe that's a little harsh. Pete Paratici out. Derek is done with this club. Is Fonseca really that bad? I don't know. He did really well at Shakhtar. Could happen again. I mean, Shakhtar might be the level that we're on right now. Unfortunately, Tottenham Hotspur are not located in Ukraine. Reload. Paulo Fonseca wants to join Tottenham. Yep, just got that update. Yep, got that. Is he a rebuild manager? I don't know. Does it even really matter who the manager is? Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to be disappointed in this football club and the direction that we've been on, the downward spiral since we made the Champions League final, even the writing on the wall before then with our results in the league, and then sacking arguably the greatest manager of a generation in terms of Tottenham anyway, not overall, but Pochettino. Just goes to show like the lack of foresight, the fact that we were in on Poch after having sacked him only 18 months ago. It's just so embarrassing as a club. The chemist, he hasn't stuck around with the team for more than 3 years. How is he going to rebuild this team? Yeah, I mean, things do happen quickly in football. You know, you can turn a club around in 2 years. But the question is, will we have enough success in the interim for him not to get the sack? Because we've seen how ruthless and quickly Daniel Levy will dispose of managers in the face of poor results. Maybe we should give him a chance. You know, we're going to have to. It's not going to be our choice. I hardly think that we should be marching on Tottenham Hotspur Stadium saying Fonseca out before we give the poor bastard a chance. But, you know, the overall reaction in the comments on Twitter and myself personally is a negative one. Sayantan Saha, Tottenham are 100 years behind than Arsenal. Yeah, you trust the process, buddy. Keep it up, man. Musa Sissoko. Who is this? Musa does not approve. You know what? Maybe he's the kind of manager that will keep Musa Sissoko around. I certainly hope not. Welcome to the comments, but welcome also to leave my club, Musa Sissoko. Amzo, the same Fonseca who managed a Roma team that got beat 6-2 by United. Yes. Paratici confirmed, according to Fabrizio Romano. L.A. Ian with a different perspective. Are people actually mad about Fonseca? It doesn't matter who's the manager with Levy and Enoch. Stop freaking out, people. Yes, true. Hopefully the Fonseca, the Paratici appointment means a little bit of power has been lifted out of the hands of Daniel Levy. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be this is one of the biggest summers in this club's recent history. There's so much so many transactions that need to be done. The window is open now. If Paratici is able to hit the ground running and move on some of the deadwood and also get in some signings, who knows what we can accomplish in a short period. Me personally, the problems run deeper than one transfer window. I don't think they can be fixed in one summer. But yeah, I don't want to let myself get sucked into having hope. This is not a managerial appointment that inspires me, to say the least. Christopher Inshaw, give him a chance. He may surprise us all. Optimistic. I like that. Paratici pen to paper till 2024. Danny Kiriakou. Oh man, if I was free to do a long show, I'd post the link so we could get some people on here, but unfortunately I will not be able to be on here much longer. I just wanted to come on and strike while the iron is hot. 116 people watching now. Make sure you like, subscribe, throw your comments in. I'm going to try and keep up as best as I can. Danny Kiriakou, we swapped Jose for Fonseca, a manager that was in 6th to a man that finished 8th in Italy. Finito. Hard to argue with that. Craig Silver, imagine what Harry Kane must be thinking. Well, he might be just booking his flight to the Etihad at this point. You know, he might be getting a helicopter ride in there to sign his new contract for Manchester City. Hold on. If Tottenham decides, surely they wanted him. Why would they need time to decide? Ben Thompson says that means Kane is out for sure and there will be no signings. I do wonder what will happen if we generate 120 or 150 million. I would have preferred Galtier, what he did at Lille this year. I really thought he was on his way to Nice. That's what the rumors had, but I don't know if those talks have been finalized yet. Everton have also been linked heavily with Graham Potter. I don't know if Graham Potter would have been the right fit for us. We can only speculate. Road to nowhere, end of March. Mason can take over again. Maybe. Fonseca will rebuild this club and we will win Champions League. Now that, my friend, is an optimist. The sun must be shining bright where Chike Okafor is living right now. Man's going to get sacked so quick. Watch. Possible? Yeah. Persuasion agrees with Amzo. Yeah, it's the manager that lost 6-2. Jose beat man. Oh. This and that 765. Cody, I'm broken if we appoint Fonseca. We had Conte right there. Man, I honestly think Conte was just a ploy. I don't think we were serious about Conte. I think he was on his I don't think we were ever going to meet the demands of a manager of Conte's ilk. He was going to want full control. He was going to go on a war chest to go to work with. I had my hopes up. And I think, like we've said in the past, and seem to be saying constantly, it's the hope that kills you. I was hopeful for Conte. I was hopeful Paratici would be able to be a factor in bringing him in. I was hopeful that we were going to evolve, but I don't know if this is an appointment that can inspire that type of thought. Yes, we did a manager swap. Danny thinks we're done. Looks like a retread manager to me. Okafor says, he's a big Fonseca booster, this Chike Okafor. Man, make sure you subscribe and like. They did the season ticket owners dirty. It's hard not to see it in that kind of light. I mean, Fonseca has good tactics, and his coaching style really helped improve Roma's defenders, so I guess we will have to back him. It's still Levy out, Enoch out. Absolutely. And I certainly hope this isn't a ploy to keep the current defenders that we have with the idea that Fonseca can come in here and make them better players, because I'm sorry, they're just limited. They're limited in the way that they are. Man, I don't know what you're drinking or smoking today, buddy, but I want some of that stuff. That's for sure. Kane will only if City pay 150 million up front. I wonder if City will be more motivated to bring Harry Kane on board now that City weren't able to get the Champions League over the line. Danny thinks we're done. Don't trust Ali Gold. Robin says, Tottenham have not yet agreed to a deal, but have moved to the front of the queue. Yeah, who knows? We've seen deals fall through at the last second before. George thinks that until this happens, we shouldn't be overreacting. Possibly he's right. I mean, Todd thinks he's a dime a dozen manager. Does Levy hate Tottenham? I don't know, man. He seems to hate the supporters, the way that we get treated sometimes. Lau picks his nose and eats it on TV. You know what? He's more decorated than Fonseca. But no, I don't want to be sitting there watching him pick his nose and eat it unless he's going to win us the Premier League. Selling Kane and Son to fund the golf course. LOL. Yes, apparently we can buy golf courses, but we can't buy new players. Amzo, thinks we're doomed. This ain't confirmed yet till Fonseca signed the contract. Does Daniel Levy work for Tottenham? Daniel Levy works for Enoch, man. Daniel Levy works for Daniel Levy. Cody Mack, one thing to say is Levy out and Enoch out. Yeah, I mean, I'm underwhelmed. I mean, everybody seems to be underwhelmed at this point. Maybe we need to sleep on it. Maybe we need to do a deep dive. 165 people watching. Honestly, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. They're coming in really fast. Just make sure you like the stream, subscribe. Romano's looking for glory. You know what? He's not off the mark very often. I know some people don't rate him, but he's not off the mark very often. I think people treat him like he's in there for clickbait or whatever. I'm going to start skipping some of the repeat comments here. Ian Nicholson, I just Paratici. None of this is Enoch. This is all Paratici's doing, and I will trust him. Fonseca was good with Donetsk. He played fluidly. I guess we do have to give him a chance. We don't choose the manager, so if we have to back this guy, then so be it. Peter McDonough, we won't spend now. R.I.P. the club. I don't know. Maybe we won't spend, but if we do generate some revenue by selling some of our best players, which I don't really want to do, unless it means a full rebuild. I mean, if this is the signal that we're going to go down the road of a full rebuild, that we're going to move on the likes of Kane and Son and Lloris and some of the Deadwood players, I think I would prefer that as opposed to bringing in a hierarchy that are going to try and work with the same group, because this group just does not work. The players need to be turned over. If it takes 2 or 3 years, we have to acknowledge the scale of the job. And if the belief is that we can't win with this core group, if the belief is that we're not going to be able to hang on to Harry Kane, then I say get on with it. It's going to be painful. Rip the Band-Aid off. Get the process started. Ian Nicholson says this could suck or be one of the best things in a while. Isn't that the nature of being a football fan? Leith says, yes, we have to trust Paratici and Fonseca. He is a very good manager, and I know him. His Roma side was very good, but injuries hit him hard. Okay, I appreciate the different perspective. Hides M, he doesn't know anything about the Prem. We are going to be trash. I don't know. Let's not overreact. Kevin Coe, if Fonseca is Paratici's work, I don't like this guy already. Pretty harsh. Let's give both these guys a chance. At least it's not Daniel Levy. If we have to assume that if Paratici's been brought in, he signed his deal, and he's making all these moves, and that we've been linked with different players. We've been linked with Sabitzer. We've been linked with Marcus Thuram. We've been linked with Joachim Anderson. We've been linked with Tosin from Fulham as well. Leith says he is a very good manager. Trust me, we have to trust Paratici and Fonseca. He's a very good manager, and I know him. I've already read that one. Sorry, I must be catching up on the comments. Steve Hitchen had a better shortlist, in my opinion, or LMAO. Well, yeah, how many times did Steve Hitchen's shortlist result in them actually bringing the players that he wanted in? I hope we do good. Probably not. Tottenham in a nutshell right there. He's not coming. Don't worry, guys. I think there's a lot of smoke, so it's hard not to believe that there would be a little bit of fire. He's giving me Mikel Arteta vibes. Hard to compare. Arteta, he went straight from playing into that Manchester City coaching squad. He had never really had his own gig, and this guy is a different. I think he's a different kettle of fish, if I'm being honestly. Does he speak English? Good question. I don't know. I mean, apparently that was rumored to be the big hang up with Ten Hag, although I think Ten Hag speaks English pretty well. Honestly, after having to listen to Jose interviews for 18 months, I'm not sure that I mind if he doesn't speak English. Bring in like a Marcelo Bielsa type. Mr. Mantis, with his bad energy about the decision, I'm highly excited with what he can do. So he wants to give him a chance, that's for sure. Sorry, every once in a while the comments just get jumped back and I miss a bunch of it. The players don't approve of Conte. I don't care what the players think. I'm sick of these players, man. They would complain if the cotton candy flavor was wrong at Hotspur away. I'm sick of the players having any kind of pull. Hides M, the manager tells the players what to do. Yep. Leith, we have to trust Paratici and Fonseca. He's a very good manager. Yes, you've said that before. Does no one know that? I think this means Kane is gone. I have to agree. We sacked a guy who beat Ole Gunnar 6-1. Yeah, listen, Alama, that's a pretty small sample to be looking at. I mean, just 2 game results. I understand what you're saying. It's like a summary. It's like a microcosm of how we feel about this appointment. But it really wasn't working under Jose, so let's see what happened. Reload says, but Poch was the betting favorite, so why is Fonseca? This has to mean that Poch was not an option. I mean, they triggered that second year on his contract. It was never going to be a simple decision. Poch never came out publicly saying that he wanted to leave. It was all kind of rumors. Who knows how much was reliable from the French media? They might have been trying to get him to move on so they could bring in Zinedine Zidane. We know that PSG want that coveted Champions League title. BT13, Poch wasn't a popular choice either. That's true. Poch wasn't our first choice at the time, and that worked out. So you never know what you're going to get in terms of a manager. It is underwhelming just looking at it on the surface, but it's a difficult one to digest just in the few seconds that I've had to. Josh, 7, I don't know what Roma you were watching. Yeah, Nikola Stefanovic from Conte to this. You have to think Conte was never a true option. 225 people watching. Make sure you smash a like, smash a subscribe if you already haven't. I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys as much as we could. I don't know much about Paulo Fonseca. He appears to be generally being received as a little bit underwhelming, and kind of is underwhelming to me. Fans were conned into season tickets. We turned down Conte for this dude. Unbelievable. I don't necessarily believe that we turned Conte down. Conte probably they just were never going to meet on the terms, because Conte, he has his mandate. He has his way of doing things. He has his requirements. I mean, seriously, do we really think we were in on Conte if we weren't going to let him bring his people in? If that rumor is true, it's just absolute trash. How long after April 1st can you still carry it on? Yeah, Groundhog Day / April Fool's Day over and over. Apparently, Roma has the most qualitative chances created in Europe statistically. I do like my stats, Keith, so I will have to look into that. I'll be very interested. You should hit me up on Twitter with some more links to that. Just generally a lot of people saying that we're screwed. I'm going to try and skip through and get to some more. It looks like Sky News is jumping on the story right now. Ha! We beat Sky News to the story. 247 people, 254 the likes and comments are going through the roof right now. I do appreciate it. Who the fuck is Fonseca? We're going to have to find out. We're going to have to do a little bit more. I'm just going to quickly check my Twitter timeline to see if there's any more updates on this. Yeah, just too difficult to multitask at this point. I agree. Deadshot Kid. Give Fonseca a chance. Could be another Poch. We can't just dismiss this guy before we even give him a chance. It was always going to be a difficult situation for someone to come in here, given that you're trying to fill the shoes of Jose Mourinho, and that we were linked with so many quality world-class managers, whether they were an option in the long run or not. If your name's not Conte or Poch or Ten Hag, it's pretty big shoes to be coming in here. So this guy has a lot of minds to change. I mean, it's almost a relief at this point that we've got somebody in to get the wheels moving in the right direction. We've been sitting here motionless as a club for so long. He will fit in well with this circus. God bless us. Breaking news on Sky Sports. Tottenham in advanced talks with Fonseca. Roma is the Italian Spursy. Ugh, that's kind of disappointing. That's kind of depressing, actually. Can we raid some Roma players? I honestly, you can't. It's not hard to picture that we'll be linked with a bunch of players from Italy, whether they're Juventus players, Inter Milan players, since they're looking to sell, or Roma players. But who knows if if Jose Mourinho is going to be wanting to let go of some of these players. I don't know if I would trust some of these players coming over if Jose is willing to let them go. But if the man who is in charge of them in Fonseca knows what he wants in terms of pecking over the squad, then surely you think that we'll be at least linked to them. This is Levy Payback to the Spurs fan. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Jamie. It is a very bad day to be trying to giving up smoking. Take Hasenhüttl. It looks like that ship has sailed, man. More convinced ever now that Levy is an Arsenal fan following his son's footsteps. Man, damning words from Tin Man 007. Paulo Fonseca played good football at Shakhtar, but I guess it's down to what players you have. It always is. It always is. I have to hope that we're going to get rid of some of these players that have been holding us back. I'm going to try and stay on for a few more minutes here. I can see one of my daughters is just starting to wake up, although she's fine good parenting right here, parenting 101. That's why they put bars on cribs. Brian Daigle, about to go berserk still. Man, take some deep breaths, buddy. You know, we'll chat about it, I'm sure, in the coming days. Let's try and at least sleep on it and see what happens here. Wayne Bonner, welcome to the chat. 3 days for Lever to screw it up. Don't know anything about Fonseca, so wouldn't comment on him. Yeah, I don't have much to offer on him either. I need to educate myself before I offer a genuine opinion. We can all see that the general consensus is that this is not a step forward for the club. But does it make sense to bring in a world-class manager? We just had one, the only thing that came of it is that we saw how bad our squad is. So Paratici will hire the best manager available, I'm sure. It depends how you want to define availability. Availability based on what we're willing to give as a club, because Conte is available. Available is free, no compensation needed, which I guess you could say about Fonseca as well. Shamu doesn't know who he is. Man, buddy, we're gonna have to look into it, that's for sure. 241 people watching. Make sure you smash a like. Everyone's excited to see Brian Daigle in the chat, but they are disappointed to see Paulo Fonseca getting linked so heavily. Man, that is a little over the top. I certainly hope not. But I mean, if we do sell Kane and Son and we bottle the investments, the thing is, if we get full price for Kane, let's say just Kane. I don't want to say Son as well, but let's say we get full price for Kane, 150 million. Right now, there's a lot of cash-strapped clubs all across Europe who are looking to generate some revenue just to keep themselves operational. The likes of Inter Milan. How do you win the Scudetto and then you're looking at selling $80 million worth of players and reducing your wage bill by 15 to 20%? That's really what drove the Super League as well, is that some of these bigger clubs are in financial ruin. So there might be an opportunity to buy some of these players at a discount. So if we get full price for Harry Kane and use the money wisely and get some of these players at a cut rate, this could be a huge summer. It's not what I want to see my club doing. I would prefer we keep Kane, obviously one of my favorite players of all time, club legend. But I don't know. This could be a window of opportunity. Anthony Gray says he would rather have Potter. I do apologize. I was trying to get every comment on, but they're coming in fast and furious now. Eugene's in berserker mode. George, I'm a multitasker, but I can't do that. I've been on YouTube too much. I haven't been practicing, so I'll have to work up my calluses again, and I'll play a tune for you, I promise. Why are we not looking at Galtier from Lille? I agree. If Galtier is a good shout, I know Jack Konecki is a big fan of his. Fonseca out. Look at that. Got an account already just dedicated to Fonseca out. That didn't take very long. Alama is on board. Thuram joined Tottenham. We've been linked. Marcus Thuram from Mönchengladbach. He's got a 30 million euro buyout that escalates to 45 million next. He's a left winger. Maybe we could move Son to the right side, or maybe that would be a sign that we would be selling Heung-min Son. Who knows? I know that there's a lot of people who do like Marcus Thuram as an option for Tottenham Hotspur. This is crazy, the amount of comments. Thank you so much to everybody who is tuning in, and I do apologize to everybody for not getting all these comments up. 220 people watching. I've been going for 48 minutes. I'm going to cut it off at about 5 more minutes, we'll say. Alex Apostolou, there's a bigger plan. He was a good defender. The new signings will make a bigger difference. Get Brian Daigle on. Yeah, if I could stay on myself, then I certainly would get more people on. Will Stewart did pop in here into the back end for about 3 seconds, but something must have come up because he had to hop off as well. But Will Stewart, if you're watching and you have any ability to come on here, I've got to end the stream here in 5 minutes or less and go do some proper parenting. I'm going to skip to the bottom to get the most recent comments. I apologize. I probably skipped about 50 comments there, everybody. John Fitzpatrick is saying Levy out. I agree with Don Reeves here. It's easy to have a knee-jerk reaction and be pissed off about the quality of this signing, but we really shouldn't just judge a book by its cover. I'm going to look into this guy in depth a little bit more and find out the way that he plays. And who knows? If Paratici is in on him this quickly, there's something that he's seen in this guy. And if we trust Paratici, then we should trust that Fonseca could be a viable option for Tottenham Hotspur going forward. Jack Lagros, whatever happens, get rid of the Deadwood, Sissoko, Wings, Lamella, Aurier, Dyer for a start. Yeah, I mean, I did a keep or sell episode, keep sell or loan with Jack Konecki on Morning THFC about 8 days ago, and yeah, for sure, there was both of us had more than half the squad going. So we definitely got some deadwood. Hopefully, Paratici, you definitely, if you have time, go back from today's stream, Morning THFC. I did a 1 hour live stream by myself on Fabio Paratici, just comparing his Juventus tenure to some of the business that's been done at Tottenham. I know he has this reputation as being like the master of the free transfer, but he's purchased in 11 years 1.6 billion worth of players, which is almost twice as much as Tottenham have done over the same time frame. So as much as he's known for being that get your diamond in the rough on a free, this man knows how to do business, and I'm hoping that he can come in here and just convince Daniel Levy that some of these players we need to sell, whether it's at a cut rate or not. Keith may be right. Some people call Fonseca the chosen one. I'm into that. Love the positivity. I'm not sure if I can agree. Any manager will do well at Tottenham, but will they without Kane? It depends. If we do sell Harry Kane, you have to certainly hope. I mean, I know we don't trust Daniel Levy, but he did take the Gareth Bale money and invest it in the squad. Did he do it well? No, he did not. But we've brought in somebody to make these kind of decisions in Fabio Paratici. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that he has signed his 3-year deal through to 2024. So I certainly am hopeful that he is able to make intelligent decisions and make them quickly. Because let's face it, if this is a new era of Tottenham Hotspur, let's get it going. Alama wants Potter in. I think that ship might have been sailed, man. Will the players think the same as us? Maybe. Couldn't give two shits, though. I really am sick of hearing about what these players think. Do your fucking job. Wake up, be a professional, train, get better at football. You know, like that's the reality. Stop complaining. Oh, I train too hard. I don't get trained hard enough. You know, these players make so many excuses for themselves. I'm just sick of playing it. I'm sick of hearing it. Theo says, never heard of him before, but our board are a joke. Harry Hurst, let's get behind the players as always. Like, absolutely, you know, if we're going to be angry in the end of the decision making, if it doesn't work out, we know where to direct it. Sometimes the players deserve criticism, but if we're going to go in with a fresh mindset, absolutely, I will back the players. I will back this team. I'm still Tottenham till I die, and I want to be hopeful. I want to be hopeful. Anybody but Southgate? Well, it looks like that's who we're getting. Levy is the opposite of Bill Nick. Aim high, Levy aims low. Yeah. Bill Nick, I would love to see Bill Nick in the ring with Daniel Levy. No gloves. Paratici is working on selling 5 of these players, but Dyer is not on that list. Dyer is 4th choice center back. I keep Eric Dyer to play in the Conference League, maybe. That's his level. Paul Gregory, I feel so bad that I didn't want Potter now. Let's give it a chance. To pay to Spurs on a free, maybe. Who knows? I hope so. Joshua Gareth is Levy out. Jean Cartier says, Levy is not a man of his word, gentlemen. Agreement. And that, Darren says, Cody, YouTube make out like he is posh when it comes to development and attacking football. You're already into the YouTube videos on Fonseca. If that's true, then for sure. I mean, like, either way, we're going to have to give this guy a chance and get behind him as fans. I know we can all have the initial reaction that we want, but I would like to see us. I don't want to say unite, you know, because that's a word that Daniel Levy used in his bullshit statement before the Villa game. But, you know, I certainly don't think we should be dismissing this guy before he gets a fair run of games to show that what he's capable of. You know, let's get this guy in the media. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see if he is intellectual. Clinical Kai. I'll see that picture on Twitter. Kind of hard to do at the same time. Yeah, it's not showing up right now. I'll have to see that after, buddy. Destroyer 681. I just hope he is Poch, like Poch. You Skip and Rodon more often than Dyer and Winks. I do wonder what role some of our loaned players like Ryan Sessegnon and Skip are going to have. These are coming in fast and furious now. It's very difficult to keep up with. I do apologize. Fonseca speaks very good English. Danny Kiriakou breaking. I know we were getting Fonseca leaving. Levy is doing this to try and tell Spurs fans that we are not a top 4 club. We are a Europa Conference League team at best, lowering our expectations. Oh man, it's an easy time to be negative. That's for sure. That's my initial reaction as well. Is I don't know if I would take Eddie Howe. I don't know enough about Fonseca. Paratici may have appointed for some reason. Hope it works. Yeah, you know, fingers crossed. We always want Tottenham to do well, regardless of what happens. Can't wait to hear what Brian Daigle has to say. That's for sure. I will say I'm only going to stay on a few more minutes. Will Stewart, if you're watching, if there's any way that you can come on into the back end and come on and keep the ball rolling on this, just let me know. I've been on now for an hour, just talking immediate reaction to Paulo Fonseca being heavily 99% linked to Tottenham Hotspur. It's looking more and more like this is going to be happening. I'm just checking my Twitter. I see the photo that you sent me, buddy. It's Fonseca as the godfather, like many people were looking at Conte as being. Okay, some real analysis here from Christopher Inshoff. Fonseca favors using the 3-4-3-4-2-3-1 formation, known for playing fluid football with heavy use of wingers and creating overloads in central areas. So if we're being linked with Marcus Thuram, this might be a possibility. I was kind of getting on board the back three when we were being linked with Conte. So if Fonseca is a man who wants to introduce that as well, then surely it could be interesting depending on the center back targets that we bring in. Carl Simpson thinks Fonseca will do well. Richard, yeah, we're the laughing stock. Yeah, we always are. It seems to be getting worse, doesn't it? Roma did well. They just had a lot of injuries and have a few aging players. Richard Bennett, that's not the first person. Not the first person. George says, great show, Codes. Thanks for your time. I do appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. I am going to end this stream very shortly. John Fitzpatrick, hope everyone knows Tottenham are a joke club. We're going nowhere in a hurry. It's hard. It's hard to say if I feel like we're more going nowhere now than we were an hour ago before we were linked heavily with a manager and the news breaking that Paratici has actually put his name on the dotted line for a 3-year contract through to 2024. I want to give this guy a fair chance. I think that's where we're going to have to leave it now. What I'll do is I'll try and coordinate with Will and see if we want to come on and do a stream later on. Obviously, I have my limits as I streamed this morning early on, and I do have a wife that I need to hang out with once in a while. But let's just wait and see. Let's not just jump all over this guy before he even has a chance to get his foot in the door. We don't even know for sure if this has been. Oh, hello, Mr. Will Stewart. Let me just change that view. So I'll extend my presence here for 90 seconds to 2 minutes or so. What are your initial reaction to Paulo Fonseca?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't particularly impressed with him at Roma, but to be fair, I haven't watched a lot of him at Roma, so I don't know for sure. I don't have a long time either, but I just wanted to jump here on the end and keep answering people's questions for as long as the channel is able. But if you need to rock it out, we can keep this rolling. My thoughts on it, though, for what's going on is this just another, pop piece? I don't
know. You know what? I'll leave you with my initial thoughts.
Yeah,
I'll leave you with my initial thoughts because I do have to go. But I will say it's underwhelming. It's confusing as far as it's the manager that Jose has replaced. It's a weird, twisted kind of sitcom style scenario where it's like, man, how can you justify this? But at the same time, if things are moving as quickly as they are now, because Fabio Paratici has come in and signed the dotted line, and you can see on Twitter today we've been linked with a few different players. So if he's getting the ball rolling on transfers and he's getting a manager in, look, we've been complaining for 51 days that we wanted a fucking manager. So if we're gonna get Fonseca, we're gonna have to deal with that reality. Let's give this guy a chance. Let's try not to poison the environment around this guy before he has a chance to show us what he's capable of. We're Tottenham Hotspur supporters in the end. And I think it's a positive thing that we're moving, finally, that we're getting the ball moving. With that, I do have to go. Will, I'll be watching as you go on. Thanks for jumping on, buddy, to keep it going. 160 people watching. Make sure you smash a subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Click the like button. Keep the comments coming. Keep Will engaged. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, Cody. Thanks for doing that. And folks, thanks for watching. This happens. It's got to always happen at the worst possible time of day when I have work that needs to be done. But yeah. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts about this particular person or individual? Um, I'm not really well informed on this particular guy. I mean, I know he was for Roma. I know the struggles that Roma had under him. Um, I, I I think that it is Joseph said Joseph Griffith says he sucks. Um, then why are we doing this? Why is the new guy going in after him if that's the case? You know what I mean? Um, just really kind of boggles the mind what Daniel Levy's doing here, and I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Let's bring up some comments here. Athelstan says, Paul, who? Exactly, Athelstan, exactly. That was kind of exactly my thoughts. But right now, from what I do know, is that The Guardian, Alistair Gold, all of those things are still reporting other targets, are still saying this is not a done deal. I think that we need to be careful with it, but I'm super thankful that Cody jumped in and brought you guys the news break as fast as possible. Social experiment. I don't doubt that at all. Guys, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button on the stream to show Cody your thanks for jumping on here and to chatting with you guys for the first hour. Eugene says, no matter what happens, we still have to be supportive and give him a chance. If it happens, hasn't happened yet. I have a little bit of different outtakes on things, and Cody does, but bizarre choice. If it happens, we need to step up. Big club, big name manager. The fact that we're all asking, who is this guy, says it all. Right? I mean, this is almost a Danny Rose type situation where we have to Google the name to find out who he is, right? That's kind of sad. 63,000 fans in the stadium. We'll let Levy know how loud. We'll be loud and clear if this goes wrong. Look, I hope it does. Well, I mean, I don't hope that it goes wrong, but I hope that they do. I hope that if this goes wrong, that people do hold Daniel Levy accountable. You know what I mean? I hope that that's what they do. I hope that they hold him accountable. And let's see, bring up some other comments here. Tiberius or Tobias, let's get Kane's son to go to a better club. They deserve better. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Conte isn't happening. People haven't ruled him out yet. They haven't ruled him out. But what is confirmed in all this is that Patricia has signed a deal till 2024. That's been confirmed. The club hasn't made the announcement yet, but all of Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that has happened. And we can run through that. Colin Turner, let's give the fella a chance. There's been a lot of coaches who have never heard of who we've been very successful now. Some players like Sabitzer to come in. If we can get Sabitzer to come in, that would be great. Best Bays is QPR fan. I can't wait to play them again. It's just not in the lower divisions. It's true. Thomas Whitney, I would have been underwhelmed by Conte at this stage of his career when Patricia brought him to Juve. this stage in career. He just won the league last season. I'm not sure. Not sure where that. I guess you could say it is been a bit lacking off if you mean the fact that he hasn't won titles, back to back to back to back like he did when he was at Juventus. But yeah, Jack says Patricia can't be any worse than Hitchin. That could be true. That could be true. Can't be any worse than Hitchin. Palace didn't want this guy. We're a finished clubhouse. Look, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not pleased about it. I'm not pleased about it. People who watch the channel regularly, I wasn't a fan of Graham Potter, but I would probably say that I would have rather have had Graham Potter than this individual here. Yeah, that's what GNR Vlog says. Maybe Potter wasn't the worst option. Yeah. Hey, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you on that one. But let's see if anybody else. I think that David at the Irish Hotspur, it has gone live. I'm not 100% sure. He's set to go live at 4:30. It doesn't look like he's gone live yet, but he will shortly. So as soon as David goes live, everybody jump over to the Irish Hotspur. If you haven't subscribed to him yet, he's going to be carrying this stream over on his channel. I'm going to throw the link in the chat here. Everybody jump over there and put in rants raids, rant raid. There's a link to that there if you guys want to jump on over there. Unfortunately, I have work to do. But I'm still here for a little bit. So if you got questions, keep them rolling, keep them coming. Keep them coming. It's gone from Potter to Fonseca and Ings to Dexco, probably. Hey, look, I'm not happy with Danny Ings, to be honest with you. I don't even think that Danny Ings was a good option. But that's just me. That is just me. We are Tottenham Hotspur forever, that's for sure. The chemist can't wait to see Brian go off. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm surprised they haven't run. They must be busy tonight. Normally, they're the channel that pops off with the breaking news. Cody here watching says Patricia will have known how this would have been received with Josie replacing Fonseca at Roma. So it's a sterling endorsement from him and a big gamble from Patricia with his first move. If this is something that Patricia has done and it does go bad, can we trust them? Can we trust them? I don't know. It just seems like things is going on. But make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button if you're new to watching this channel, if you haven't yet. Let's get to 1,100 subscribers. 1,100 subscribers would be great if we could hit that benchmark today. We got Shane Henson, so we're not getting Ronald McDonald then? Apparently not. Apparently not. I'm not sure who the person who is Ronald McDonald, but I haven't heard Ronald McDonald yet. I haven't heard that in the news. Thomas Whitty says, if I was a Juve fan back when Conte was appointed by Patricia, I would have been underwhelmed based on his career up to that point. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I really don't. I really don't. Sorry, I'm trying to check news here as we're chit chatting. Maninder Singh, we got a sporting director, and now we should trust in Patrici. Trust in the process, and a lot of you should stop crying. I'm not crying. Last time I checked, I don't think the people in the comments are crying either. I think they're concerned about their club. Look, being critical of certain chances and choices is not being negative. It's simply, trying to make sense for yourself what's going on. We are fans. We do have a right to have an opinion on what's going on, and if we don't like it, we should have the right to complain about it. So, I respect the fact that you want to support the club. I want to support the club too, but I also want the club to be successful. And if I think that the success of the club is going in the opposite direction, then that. But there's an article from The Athletic that just popped out. David, the Irish Hotspur, is now going live. Make sure, here's the link to David's video. I'm telling you right now, you guys are going, if you're a Spurs fan, you're going to want to be on this live stream. Go over there, hit there. When you get over to David's show, make sure you comment in the chat, rants raid, rants raid, rants raid, and let them know that our channel sent you. Folks, stay strong. Stay Spurs. We'll be back here. If there's any more breaking news tonight, later tonight, I'll be free. So I'll be able to roll here for 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 hours with you if you want me to. Got to go for now. But we will be back if anything new pops up. So make sure that you smash that subscribe button on the channel so that you're notified when we go live. Okay, hit that bell as well. And love you guys. See you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.